What's up guys? Just wrapped up the sheet metal fab on our scratch built tailgate. I think it turned out pretty good. Got a ton of work into it. So we're gonna take you through the process and show you how we built it. We were thinking about using the original tailgate and we had it sitting on here. The fitment wasn't quite correct and we just really wanted to make sure everything tied in the bed with the inner bed panels. With raising the bed floor, we wanted to make sure that all the gaps were about the same and looked proper. So we just made the decision to scratch build a new one. So this is gonna be a little bit of that process. So the first step on this tailgate was to replace these factory hinges. They were definitely a little bit worn down and you can tell where they were ground into just from years of use. So I went ahead and made some new ones. I machined new pins, got those welded in, and what we decided to do to keep everything nice and tight and smooth was machine down Delrin bushings just to make sure that the tolerances were nice and tight and everything flows very smoothly when you're using it, opening, closing, all that good stuff. So we started there, and then I took a 1.5 inch round bar to use as our bottom kind of structure of the tailgate. So this center portion of the tube that we used is a 1/8 inch thick, and then my ends here are 3/16 thick, which were machined, sleeved, and welded. And then we started with the flat sheet after that, and did all of our layout to see where our panels were gonna go. And what we are gonna do with this tailgate is we're gonna make it double walled as opposed to the factory single wall, which will allow us to keep our paneling on the inside of the bed at the same height and same dimensions as the front bed panel. Whereas on the back, we're gonna do something totally different and we're gonna get the International logo in here and we'll make the same sort of pattern. And then another really cool thing about doing a double walled tailgate as opposed to the factory single wall is our latch system will be hidden in between the two. So it'll really clean all that up, make it a lot nicer, a lot newer of a style, so to speak. And then what we're gonna do on the ends here is we're gonna make these corner kind of cover caps that'll come out and around and basically encapsulate this entire corner just to clean all of that up and just give it a nicer look. And then in these upper corners right here, we're gonna take and follow this curvature and just kind of roll it right around this corner here to match up with the bed sides. And then we'll have a nice clean body line right in here, and then that'll kind of finish it off for us. So part of the process of getting all the stamping correct and getting everything to match up was making these kind of trick little just simple wooden guides. So what we did here was did all of our layout, and these got bolted into the panel, and then with a set of beading dies. Oh, I just got the gnarliest splinter. Hold on. Ow. Oh, that's awesome. Shit. Oh. Ow. Got it. Good. All right, so I clamped a piece to our wooden guide and I ran it through our Lennox and made sure that the die pattern was how we wanted it and the depths were correct and everything looked good. I ran the test piece because I didn't want to stamp the tailgate without checking things. That would have been a big bump. We got these bolted in here, everything lined up how it should be, and then we've got these beading dies for the Lennox True Edge that basically just follow the guide all the way around the outside. About 3 passes. Once we had all our stamping finished up, these just get unbolted, kind of set these things off to the side here. And then the next step of this panel was to actually make a set of Pullmax dies, one upper set and one lower set, because our radiuses are different. And what we did here is basically just made it to mimic the radius in the bed sides on the upper, and then we made it to mimic the tube on the lower. We broke this top edge this morning. I spent a few hours just doing some hammer work to start dealing with some of the shrinkage from all the Lennox work. And I still got a little bit more to do, which we'll work out later today. So I'm gonna get back to work and start shaping these tailgate corners. And once we are a little further along, we'll show you the progress. All right, so I just wrapped up these tailgate corners. I made a hammer for them, made an upper piece and a lower piece, welded the seam up here, got them tacked into the tailgate fitting right, and then went back and welded them out and metal finished them. Then from that point, I started making the structures for the tailgate latch system. So you can see in here, hold on just a second.
Your distractions are here.
I know, what just fucking happened? Sergio's got to take a fucking masa, huh? All right, so we went on and made these structure pieces for the latch system. These are just a bear claw style latch, much better than the factory setup, a lot smoother, a lot easier to conceal and just hide, and just gives a better overall look and much easier to deal with. Instead of using the factory mounting holes on these bear claw latches, I made a new housing for them. It's significantly cleaner. It just gives it a better look. Because it is exposed, we just wanted it to look finished and not just like a latch hanging out there. And also the original 3 mounting holes, to get ahead of a bolt in here, when the tailgate closes up on this flange on the back of the bed, we didn't have enough room for it to clear. So by making this housing, I swapped to the 2 mounting holes and we tucked them in up against that structure that I made. So now when it closes, we've got plenty of clearance and it just looks a lot better. So kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So when I made these housings, I started off by measuring the bear claw latch itself, measured the entire assembly, got all my measurements correct, and started forming up some sheet around it and just basically encapsulating that latch. Scribed all my lines on a flat sheet, went over to the corner notcher and made my clearances for my bends, went over to the finger brake and bent them up, and then once I had everything bent and I knew that the latches fit in there, I went back, welded all my seams, ground the seams, metal finished them out, and got them mounted on here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for him. Phil's over there making a hamster wheel. All right, so once we got these bear claw latches mounted in the tailgate, we had to come up here and mount the catches. These are the original catches that came with the latch mechanism. They're kind of sloppy and they also have this long stud coming off of them. So we didn't really like that. So what I ended up doing was machining a new catch and I threaded it internally. That way we can use the same hardware that we use down here in the tailgate mounts themselves. And I also machined them a little bit bigger, so when the tailgate comes up and closes, it's got a nice tight fit instead of a real sloppy one. All right, so once we got all the latches functioning properly and the fitment really nice the way we wanted it, I went back in here and I made this top hat style brace just to really stiffen the tailgate up. And then that way, once we build our outer panel, it'll actually rest on this and it will all get spot welded together and we'll have a really nice, solid, strong tailgate. So once I got my brace spot welded in, I went on to making the outside structure for the rear panel. And before I started making the structure, I bent up a couple templates to just get the shape right and figure out exactly the look that we were going for. So once I had that nice and dialed in, I went ahead and made a side piece on each side and a bottom piece that ties into the bottom tailgate tube that we used.
Yeah.
I got those spot welded together and clecoed in place, and then I went and cut my center section, fit it in place, got it tack welded to the entire outer structure, made sure it fit back in the truck, pulled it off, welded everything out. Right now I'm working on metal finishing and cleaning up all those welds. But right now we're just kind of doing a test fit, making sure that everything is where it should be and looks proper. And the end goal for this is that when it comes in, it's going to meet up with this bottom lip on the top bed rail, and then it'll get spot welded in all the way across, just like the bed sides right here.
Tailgate?
You know, just put some membrane and shit on here.
Okay, cool.
So a little quick update on our tailgate here. We pulled it back off the truck. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of this membrane sound deadening in there, kind of get rid of some of the rattle we might get when it's rolling down the road or anything like that. And then we're also gonna come in here and just wrap up some loose ends. So we'll take care of any of the extra welding that needs to be done internally, get all that sorted out, and then we're gonna get this back panel put on here. It'll get spot welded in here on both sides. It'll get welded to our bottom frame here, and then it also is gonna get seam welded right up here. Everything will get tied in, we'll get it back on the truck, and then we'll get our latch in here and we'll have a nice functioning tailgate. I'm just making sure it's flat. So basically I'm just gonna come through here and clamp anywhere that it's not flat and pull everything flat, make sure I got a nice flat edge, and then weld it up. We are super stoked on how this tailgate turned out. We've got a couple things to finish up. We're gonna get some machine billet aluminum emblems on here, and then we're gonna get our latch release figured out, but you'll see that in another video.